Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing? Welcome back. Today's a new day, and it is time for some brand new cast. Today's matchup is between FXO Filthy and EG Idra. So this is a Terran versus Zerg. We are here, of course, on Metalopolis. And what's going on for today? Well, today I'm going to be doing this series between these two players. This is game number 1 in this series. And then after the series, we're going to be taking a look at some strategy videos. I think that those are definitely in order. Going to be at least 1 for today, if not 2. Again, I've been kind of on that steady roll of doing 3 strategy videos a week, and I definitely intend on continuing that. Now, something else, of course, I want to mention is that if you don't already know, look at this guy pulling on out. If you don't already know, there is a giveaway on my channel giving away some really awesome Razer gear, giving away a headset, keyboard, and mouse. So go ahead and head over to my channel. You can take a look there, find out more about that giveaway. Everyone's got a chance to win. It's not exclusive to U.S. residents, as I know many. There are a lot of giveaways that are only to U.S. residents, but I will ship anywhere in the world. I do not care. Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a damn. Anyways, Idra not doing much as of yet. You can see just macroing up at this point, sitting right now at 13 supply. Very soon we're going to see what his intentions are. And again, over here, taking a look for Filthy, obviously some very fancy stuff going on. Going down with this barracks at the bottom of his ramp here instead of the top. Could be going for some early marine aggression. That is quite possible, although I don't think that is going to be the case simply because of the fact that this refinery is being dropped. So just kind of going for a different sort of wall off here. And, you know, it's funny because this doesn't even necessarily help him expand all that much. I mean, yes, he can sit guys back here to defend this corner of expansion, but this section over here is still very wide open. So moving out right now with that SCV scout, going to be trying to find out exactly where Idra is. A little surprised that he didn't check the corner though. I don't know why, because a lot of times you're going to see Terran players just skirt along that corner to see if they can catch that Overlord when it first does scout. Now taking a look over here, Idra dropping down that Expo there. Looks like he went Expo first and then spawning pool. Still no extractor. Going to be holding back on that, at least for the moment. Wants to be able to drone up very hard, and going to be getting that Overlord sometime soon as well, sitting at about 17 supply at this moment. And here we go, SCV Scout moving on out, just about to find Idra, and in fact, also going to spot that expansion. They're going to spot that quick expansion from Idra. Now, we can see right now, we do have a Reaper making its way on out for Filthy, so Filthy going to be opening up with some Reaper action. You used to see that all the time in TVZ, not quite as frequently, simply because of that Reaper change, but everyone knows about that by now. And what else? I don't know. Let's see what else is going on. Well, we did have the ladder reset today. That's pretty exciting, so hopefully you guys are ready for a whole new ladder season. We are in season number 2. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to go in, you play one game, and you're going to get placed based off of your performance last season and then how you perform in that one game. And actually opening up with a second Reaper, that's actually pretty intense, to be honest with you. Is the Drone Scout going to get in? No, Idra didn't move it up. In fact, he decided to just move it down to the side for some very odd reason. We do have this one SCV moving on, scouting over here. That first Reaper making its way on over. Second Reaper 50% of the way done, and here comes a Expo. So opening up Reaper into expansion, then going to be dropping that bunker for some early game defense. Still needs to make sure he does something to defend this corner, because that could still definitely be harassed by some Zerglings. SCV keeping up that scout, not seeing a whole heck of a lot. We can see Idra dropping that creep tumor right now, but very important right now. That first Reaper is on the board and moving out. Second Reaper, there it is as well, and we're going to see some hot Reaper action in just one moment. I got that phrase from the guys at FTW Broadcasting. Pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious stuff, I would have to say. And the Reaper just chilling out over there. Come on, man. Where's your micro? What are you doing? Put these guys to use, for God's sake. This guy, look, he is not doing what he should be doing. Yeah, I'm very unimpressed by that one Reaper. Not by Filthy. Filthy's a great player, but that one Reaper, I'm very unimpressed by him. So Reaper's just going to be hanging out by the Zelnaga Tower with that SCV, and in fact, going to be heading back home. So deciding not to go for any harassment. That is quite unfortunate. Would have liked to see some Reaper harass there, but didn't happen. Expo is right up right now. We do have 2 factories making their way on down as well. So not going to be going bio heavy. Look like he's going to be playing with some mech play this game. Very vulnerable, I would have to say as well. Those factories just kind of sitting in the wide open. But look at this. We do have a barracks sitting out over here, so that's interesting. Man, this play here, very interesting. I'm very looking forward to seeing precisely what he intends on doing over here. Now, taking a look inside of Idra's base, metabolic boost just about finished. We have the layer making its way on out as well. Let's take a look at those extractors. Is sitting on the 3 extractors right now. Likely to be going kind of the Spieling Muta build. I expect that Spire to be dropped pretty quickly. Now, Spielings shouldn't be able to catch up to this. No, regular Zerglings, rather, is what I meant to say. Regular Zerglings shouldn't be able to catch up, but Spielings will definitely catch that Reaper once that metabolic boost does come into play, and we did see that just come into effect. And yeah, Blue Flame Hellions making their way on out, in fact. So going to be opening up with some big Hellion harassment. We do still have this barracks being built over here, and now it's flying over. So building the barracks over here solely for the purpose of scouting. That is the only reason he got this barracks. He wants to push in with the scout, wanted to save all of his energy for muling, didn't want to drop a scan, and going to be scouting Idra out with that barracks. He wants to spot what that next building is, and it looks like no Spire, in fact. We're seeing that Roach Warren, and we're going to be seeing some speed upgrade as well. Now we can see, of course, his Queen picking away, but the Queen right now is the only anti-air that Idra has. He doesn't have a Hydralisk Den coming out. It's not even building at this moment. So there's a just great opportunity for free scouting here for Filthy. So actually pretty cool play there. And another barrack. So Filthy going to be following up this barrack scout with an additional barrack scout at some point relatively soon. Man, that seems like a lot of resources to invest in scouting. But with that said, let's think about this for just a moment, all right? Sure, it's not an immediate scout as you would get with the scan, but it's a lot more mobile, gives you a lot more information, and wasting a scan sets you back 300 resources technically, because that's how much a mule would return to you. If you drop a mule, you get 300 minerals. If you scan for the same 50 energy, then you only get that momentary spot. But if you drop a barracks for 150 resources and scout with it, well, that's half the cost of what a scan would have technically cost you. So that's actually really cool. Wonder if we're going to start to see this more often. I actually really like that Filthy is doing this, bringing up that second barracks scout. I mean, he has constant information. He knows exactly what Idra is going, so he can counter accordingly. He doesn't have to worry about being caught off guard, caught with his pants down, caught by surprise, any of those kinds of things. Look at Idra, though, just continuing up, spreading that creep across the map, wants to get as much vision as possible. Also sending out 3 Overseers, because he himself is going to be going for some some badass scanning, rather. Not scanning, what am I talking about? He's going to be going for some sweet scouting. That's what he's doing. So Idra returning the favor to his buddy across the map, but this is really phenomenal by both players, to be honest with you. Both players just saying, you know what, I'm going to get as much information as possible, and this is something that, you know, everyone should really be trying to do. Scout your opponent as much as possible, find out exactly what they're going for. I'm just loving that barracks. I'm going to have to start doing that. I tell you, building barracks randomly and just flying them on over instead of scanning, it actually seems like a really good idea. So I guess the only thing to say about that, the only amendment to what I mentioned earlier, is that you do have that one SCV not mining the entire time you're building, and that, of course, is resources lost that you would have otherwise gained. So maybe it's actually not worth it now that I think about it in that aspect as well. So anyways, going back over here for Filthy, we can see continuing up this heavy mech play. He is also going to be looking for another expansion. We do have 3 factories on the board right now, coming out with that level 1 armor upgrade. Already has that level 1 damage upgrade for his mech units. And here is the Spire units, Mutalisk, moving out across the board. Now obviously we have Thors on the board, but it would be nice to have more Marines. Taking a look at that armies tab, I'm sorry, what are we doing here? We need to take a look at the unit counting station is what we wanted. We do have 1 Marine and 2 Thors on the board, and I am not sure. I think Idra is just going to magic box these Thors, and there's not a whole lot that Filthy is going to be able to do. He does have, this is going to be fun. Wow, Idra talking about fun. Is this a first? This is phenomenal. Idra seems to be in a great mood. I am too. Here we go. We have another expansion coming down. So Idra pushing on into his 4th. The continuous scouting here finally is Idra going to get rid of this barracks? There we go. So finally dropping that down. It's about damn time, I'd have to say. And Filthy moving into his 3rd right now, continuing up this factory production. He is just going heavy mech play. The one thing to realize, though, about mech play this heavy, going that hard into factories, is that you need a lot of Vespian, and that really forces you to expand faster than you would if you were going for a bio-type build. Now we do have 3 Hellions making their way across the board. Let's see if we can finally see some harassment. All we've seen is pretty much just some epic scouting, and that's about it. I haven't seen a lot of damage or harassment yet from either player. So Hellions splitting up, trying to get away from those mutas, but unfortunately they are going to get dropped, in this last Hellion is going to get dropped there as well, but no making it away just momentarily. And Idra a little weary of pushing in the base. There are a hell of a lot of turrets here for Filthy, and that's the other thing too with that mech heavy plays, that you do get some extra resources there. You do get some extra minerals floating, so that allows you to place up more turrets than you would if you were going for that mineral heavy build in a bio build. So yeah, pretty cool play there. It's more of a turtling aspect though. I mean, he's basically just going to be sitting in his base for quite some time, not going to be able to push out anytime soon. And the good thing though for Idra is that this is allowing him to freely expand now, trying to move forward with these Mutalisks. And what is he doing? leaving them alone for just a moment. Did end up losing one just to that missile turret. That was very, very unnecessary. Idra finally pulling back home. So yeah, still not a lot of harassment, not a whole lot going on. Taking a look at that unit loss station, there hasn't been a lot of action so far in the game. We are 14 minutes at this point. Idra, pretty comfortable just macroing up. I mean, in general, that is his playstyle. Wow, I was just sitting right on top of that scan, huh? That is his playstyle in general, just a macro-heavy play. We can see he's on 4 bases, and you may be asking, why doesn't he just get a 5th? Well, the truth is, he really doesn't want to sit on that many drones. Take a look at that unit count station. He is at 100 drones right now. That is quite a lot more than is typically suggested. So getting that 5th wouldn't do a lot. Like, he's going to be dropping it right now, probably allowing him to sit up and get those extra larvae, but he's probably not going to be fully saturating it, because he would just be that, what, he's going to be sitting on like 120 plus drones. That's a lot of drones to sit with. But again, he's comfortable to expand, knowing that his opponent FXO Filthy is just going to be sitting in his base for quite some time. Really surprised about those mutas just sitting over there. Finally going to be moving on in, and it is time to start doing some harassment. You can see giving priority to this refinery, like I mentioned not too long ago. A Vespian is incredibly important in a mech heavy build, so if Idra can take down these refineries and stop that Vespian gathering for even a short while, then it's going to be a big benefit for him, and it's going to severely cut back on the production of Filthy. He then, of course, could transition just into pumping out a little more Hellions for the time being. I mean, look at this, just giant Hellion Thor. Taking a look at that army tab right now, we can see 200 to 200 for Idra and only 167, but if we take a look at the units, a lot of that 200 is drones, sitting at the 96 drones right now. And here we go, big push coming out right now for Idra. He's got a lot of Infestors sitting here, a few Zerglings as well as Mutalists. Now, it's going to be hard for him to push into this heavy mech play. Lots of Hellions as well as those Thors, but are we going to see some Neuroparasite? I think we may, and here we go. Here comes the push right now. Blue Flame Hellions do what they can. Neuroparasite going down on a lot of those Thors, giving them control to Idra. There's not enough tanks on here, so they're not able to drop those Infestors. Those Infestors are safe. Those mind control Thors taking over everything and absolutely demolishing everything that Filthy has, but no, finally the control going back to Filthy, and Filthy's Thors mopping everything up that Idra had. So those Infestors did get dropped, and as a result, obviously, the control of those Thors going straight back to Filthy, and Filthy is going to be moving into his next expansion. Look at what he's doing, though. Keeping himself as tight as possible, keeping all of his production buildings, the things that he really wants to try to protect, right in a centralized location here. And then as far as the outlying resources, fully protecting those with missile turrets, so the mutas aren't going to be very effective. And a big Thor push coming down. Some more Neural Parasites going down. This is not good right now for Filthy. He is way too far away. He cannot target fire those Infestors down, and everything getting mopped up, and now Idra's going to target fire the remaining Thors and drop them with his roaches, and no, not at all. This is not looking good. 112 to 196. Filthy is not in a good position at all right now. The other thing about mech heavy play is it's very difficult to reinforce, simply because the long build times on the units. The Thors take absolutely an eon to build, and not looking good at all. Moving in with all these roaches, Idra mopping up everything that Filthy had. Filthy is not in a good spot. He can't expand right now. He doesn't have enough. Idra is going to be reinforcing, also coming out with this Greater Spire right now, so going to be looking to get some Broodlords into play as well. But look at how many Infestors we have right now. He can just do whatever he wants. Fungal Growth, Neural Parasite, throw down a ton of infested Terrans as well. Filthy is going to be losing all of these production buildings. Roaches target firing down these factories. I want to get them down as quickly as possible, stop anything that's building, and there is the GG from Filthy. And does he actually leave the game? Yes, he does. So there we go. Good game. This is, again, the first game in the series between these two players. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. We did see Filthy go with that mech heavy play, and very strong, can be very effective, not very mobile, and as a result, you did see he didn't push out at all in this game. Doesn't really provide that opportunity when you go for mech heavy play. Unfortunately for him, these Infestors just completely dominated his Thors with that Neural Parasite, and in that big engagement over here, we saw that Filthy was nowhere near the Infestors, so he couldn't target fire and drop them down to get rid of that Neural Parasite, and as a result, just kind of got all of his units mopped up. And again, the reinforcement time on a mech build, not really good. It takes quite too long for everything to build. I mean, 60 seconds just for one Thor. So yeah, it's too bad. Anyways, I'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment, so hold tight, guys. Look at that. They managed to stop a ton of those Banelings, but man, that was a heavy loss of SCVs. More Hellions streaming on in. Want to grab them together and do what they can to take out the worker count here from Idra. Moving on into the main, taking a few shots from the Spinecrawlers, getting us around on both sides, little Queens, Spinecrawlers, and Zerglings. And drones moving in on the action as well. And Filthy just threw away a whole lot. Does have some Marauders hanging out. I mean, I was literally speechless. That is exactly what happened. I was completely speechless. I have no idea why Filthy brought so many SCVs. I mean,